Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Summer School. Today, we have an amazing guest who I don't know. And if you know anything about summer school, normally I actually know a lot of my guests, but I've been bringing on people recently that I don't know that I love something extremely about their work. I love everyone's work that I have on, but Laura specifically is very talented and just a really fun off camera flash type vibe. So, we're going to talk all about her journey, flash, and literally everything. So, tell everyone and myself a little bit about yourself, Laura. I want to know it all.
Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the pod. Yeah, I guess like kind of starting from the beginning of my photography journey is kind of where to begin. So I got into photography pretty early on. Like I would say like around high school is when I started buying like little digital cameras and like taking photos of my friends and stuff. But I didn't like really take it very seriously until later in life. But I've always been like super creative. I went to school for design, but I just like didn't really know what I wanted to do. So out of college, I actually like went into marketing.
Mm,
And I worked in marketing for probably like 5 years. I worked at Nike for probably, I think, like 4 of those 5 years. And that's like honestly really where I fell in love with photography because I was on the back end of it. So I was like doing the like conceptualization of photo shoots. And I just remember going into like one of my first like studio sessions of like a brand shoot. And I walked in and I saw the photographer with all of these lights in this like big studio with these like professional models. And I will just never forget that feeling. I was like, wow, this is
mm,
so incredibly cool that like, that they're just like taking these concepts, but then like creating beautiful imagery out of it. So that was like
mm,
really the catalyst of what made me like really start contemplating photography and if it is something that I could do as a career. But I still like wasn't really sure. So I quit my job and I became a flight attendant and
mm,
I did that for like a year. And within that time frame, COVID happened and I wasn't flying anymore. I kind of moved back into like a marketing role within oddly enough, the same company. But I had, just all this time and I was just kind of figuring out, like, what can I do with this time? And I was like, you know what? I'm really going to start taking photography seriously. Like, I want to learn what my settings do. Cause, like, before, I was shooting on auto. Like, I didn't really have an understanding of just like even how my camera worked. So once I kind of made that decision, I just went headfirst into it. So I like started with like styled shoots. I was so fortunate to have a really good friend of mine kind of take me under his wing and kind of give me just the foundations of like how the camera works and exposure and all of those things. And pretty early on, he actually taught me how to use studio lights. So that was like really
mm,
my first introduction into studio lighting. And then as I fell into weddings, which is honestly something I never thought I would do, I was like, coming from a marketing background, I was like, I want to do brands, I want to do creative. But like, I don't know, I was also like, I want to try everything. And then I shot my first wedding and I was like, oh no, I think this is like actually what I really want to do. And then, yeah, from there, it was just like, getting kind of used to the wedding day flow and everything. And then I kind of like reached a point pretty quickly where I was like seeing all, because I feel like the past couple of years, Flash has been more and more upcoming. So just being really inspired by other like editorial photographers and seeing that they were using off camera flash. And I was like, you know what? I really want to invest some time into learning this. So it's been a journey. I feel like I've dedicated like literally the past like 3 years into like learning everything there is to know about Flash. And I'm still
mm.
learning, which is great. But I've been really lucky to have the opportunity to kind of share that knowledge with everyone else.
Well, and I love how, like, ooh, I love how, like, punchy your photos are. I don't know. That might not be
Yeah.
a good word because you might be like, that I do not align with that word. But
No, I hear what you're saying.
the flash is hitting at a strength I think is really flattering. That's what I would say.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, The skin looks good, it's very even, it's very bright. Like,
Yep.
on my end, it feels very bright, like, as a consumer looking at it.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you would agree or even if you shoot too bright, but I don't know, just overall the tone and level that it's hitting at, I really enjoy. Like, you
Yeah.
could think that you had multiple lights set up, but you didn't. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's, like, what is really interesting because I'm not sure if you were the same, but when I first got started with Flash, I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kind of, like, wing it and see how this goes," and you're kind of just, like, shooting without intention.
Mm,
But then you kind of learn that, like, light can be used to shape an image and make it drastically different than it exists in real life. So, to use it as more of, like, a creative tool is really exciting and I think is really what has leveled up my work is like again you can take an image and be like oh this looks great in real life but what if I just like did this with the light and like kind of manipulated it a little bit differently.
well, and in my opinion, there's a lot of people that use Flash and it can be kind of dated or kind of more
Mhm.
old school, you know, and
Yeah.
then when you use it, it does give that very fresh, very new, very hip kind of style to it, which
Mhm.
I think is really good. I think it's almost easier probably to get that dated look when you start implementing Flash in a more serious way.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think like, you know, like anything with photography, it's like people there are like photography rules and things that people are like, oh, you're supposed to do it this way, but like rules are meant to be broken. And like there's no one stop shop for like what you should be doing with a photo. It's more of like, and this is kind of how I now approach every time I use Flash. I kind of think beforehand, like, what is the end result that I'm looking for? And then, like,
Mm,
kind of working backwards instead of just being like, oh, I need to add Flash. Like, that could, you could execute that in a million different ways. But if you have an idea of like, oh, I want it to look like this, then you are going to be able to, you know, get to your end result faster.
mm. And from what I see, you're normally only using about one Flash in the clips I see, in the reels I see. Is that also what's happening in real life?
Yeah, so I would say especially on a wedding day, I mostly use one flash. The only time I will really use two is sometimes on the dance floor.
Mm,
I think it's really cool to kind of like backlit a subject. And I also, like, learned, like, in my, earlier studio days, like, right off the bat is, like, you can pretty much do everything with one light. Like, not everything, but, like, you can get some really amazing results with one light. So, and, you know, when you're on a wedding day, it's like you don't wanna lug around
yeah.
all this gear, and this gear that we have, like, can do such amazing things, so might as well lean into it.
And you already have literally so much gear. Like, that is
Yeah.
one of the hardest parts that for me to go off camera with a flash, the thing I just started I literally I mean, like, technically, it's still an off-camera flash when you have it in your hot shoe, but,
Uh-huh.
um, I never physically took it off of my camera until literally this year because
Yeah.
I have carpal tunnel and I've had wrist issues since I was, like, a child. I used to do a lot of sports, never thought I'd be a wedding photographer. I've always been
Yep.
creative, but thought I'd go to school for sports, and then I had an injury senior year.
Really?
Anyways, all that to say, your girl's body is broken everywhere. I'm kidding. Like,
Same,
but
but, like,
my
not actually.
wrist, my back, I'm like, "Man," you know, even man, I even love the spider holster, literally love it and
Oh,
will be using it to this day, but I also was a cheerleader at one point, took a bad fall doing that. My
oh,
lower back
no.
has issues, and I'm like, "Oh, the holster, sometimes it sends, like, nerve pain."
Yeah,
Man, but
it's
better than the shoulder pain, you know?
totally yeah. I've learned this year that, like, I need to invest in keeping my body, like, in tip-top shape because,
Yes.
like, there's so many aches and pains that happen and, like, you know, our bodies, like, really are a piece of our equipment, and if they, like, are not operating correctly, then, like, you know, how are we gonna be
Mhm.
able to do our job? So,
No, 100%.
yeah, I hear you on so
That
many
was
aches and
but
pains.
all of my bad body issues to say that now I am finally taking it off my camera, but low key,
Yes.
like, I just can't hold my camera with one hand, so
I know.
that is
Yeah,
my biggest difficulty, and sometimes I have Jake who second shoots with me, like, literally just be a lighting assistant, and I'll be like, "Hey, go over
totally.
there, like, hold it right here."
Yep.
and that's fine, and a lot of times sometimes I will need that because I want it closer than my arms can physically reach. I guess I could have a light stand, I guess, but, if I have him
Yeah.
near me, I'm like, "Here, go hold it over there," you
Oh,
know?
yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, I have been doing it. I just can't do it too much. Like, my wrist literally can't physically do it. Some people have told me I need to get one of those almost wrist straps for my camera because it supports
Mm.
at least a little bit if you hold with one hand, but low key,
Yeah.
I just need a different lens. I
Yeah.
have the Canon
What do you
28 to
shoot with?
70 and it's so
Okay.
freaking big. So big.
Yeah. I've heard
What are
that
you
that
on?
one's so I shoot with a so I'm a Sony shooter, but I shoot also with a 24 to 70, but I heard the Canon one is a little heftier.
Well, and Sony, I think, just released the equivalent of ours. I think they just
Oh.
released a 28 to 70 or a 24 to 70 that goes down to f2 as well.
Oh, that yeah, I think I
Yeah.
actually saw that. Yeah, because yeah, I do 2.8 and I would really like a 2.0 because it's just that little bit. It does help.
I don't feel like I ever need to go down to f2 that often, but the glass, like the Canon 24 to 70, I didn't like. The 28 to
Oh,
70, I
okay.
did like. Just the quality of the glass was definitely like, I would just say it was different. But
Yeah.
currently, I think I'm getting bored and I need something smaller for Flash. I don't know. I would love
Yeah.
when you said you worked at Nike and some of the fashion world, like I would love a really good maybe 16 to 35 or something to throw into my kit.
Yeah, I've had the same thought recently of, just because I don't know, like, sometimes those wider, like, super wide shots are really cool, like, especially for, like, dance floor
Mhm.
photos, so, like, yeah, a really wide lens like that could be really cool.
We have, I think, a 14 or something, but it's almost too wide. I think because it's prime, I
Really?
feel limited. If someone
Mm.
wants a photo, I'm like, "Hey, I have this, like, freaking
Oh,
super
yeah.
wide lens on."
You're gonna look like
Uh,
a fish, like, a little distorted, but sure.
yes. Yeah, so I think I need one that zooms. I need to pull the trigger
Yeah.
on the 16 to 35 probably or something similar. When I got into photography, that was a lens I looked up to because I was following a lot of portrait fashion people
Yep.
and, like, watching their YouTube channels and stuff.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's a sign. I don't know if they have one for Canon's mirrorless cameras, but I could always get an adapter.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about
With your
me.
yeah, I was just gonna ask you another question.
Okay, do it,
With
do it.
your yeah, so with your experience, like, with off-camera flash, like, from taking it off camera, like, other than, like, your wrist, did you feel like you had any, like,
Hmm.
issues or, like, things that you really, like, felt like were kind of a more difficult adjustment?
No. I also though, my flash changed drastically. I went from using the Profoto A10, which I still use, I just use it
Mhm.
on my camera because I don't have a trigger for it,
Yep.
to using a Godox Luxmaster, which
Is that the vintagey looking thing?
yes.
It looks
And
so cool. I was gonna ask you what that was.
to me, the look it's giving is so much different than the A10. Like, the
Really?
level of flash I feel like it's firing at, it just something feels different, but I haven't
Mhm.
tried the Profoto. I think you have, like, one of the B series, right?
Yeah, so I actually have an A2. So it's
A2,
yeah.
yes.
So it's basically it's a
It's
little
like
more
the big guy.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the bigger ones I think are the B series. So
Yeah.
like yeah, and I have some of those, but those are not practical to lug around.
But
But
that
this
is
is super powerful and
yeah.
I love it. And it's a little, it's heavy, but it's manageable for sure.
Well, and I have not installed it on my spider holster, but they do have ways to attach. That one you're probably attaching through like a almost like a tripod mount, right? But the My Pro Photo I can attach with like a sticker thing.
Yeah, so yeah, and I've been like so another like goal of mine this year has been to really like finalize my setup, like to make it
Mm,
more comfortable and more efficient. And so I did the same. I bought a little attachment to stick onto this
yeah.
and now I just slide it in cuz before I was like attaching a tripod but it was just kind of annoying to keep in my belt. So
Mm.
this helps a lot being able to just kind of whip it in and out of the spider belt with the
And you
holster.
trust the little sticker thing because I haven't installed mine yet, and it scares me to put something like that on a Pro Photo. I mean, just my tinier flash is like $1,000, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I am not gonna lie, I have dropped this thing so many times. Um, and it hasn't broken yet. So I think
Hey,
they're
that's
built pretty
great.
sturdy. Yeah.
They are, man. Profoto.
Oh,
I
I know.
enjoy the Godox Luxmaster I have for what it is, but again, it's
Yeah.
like a $200 price range versus 1,000
Oh,
plus
yeah.
price range. Like, the
Oh,
quality is
yeah.
truly different in my opinion, but
Totally.
also with summer school and teaching everyone at every stage, I wanted to also enjoy and use brands that were approachable to people who needed to purchase them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
So
such a good
I'm trying to
point.
dive more into Godox flashes and figure out more of their lineup.
Yeah.
That way, I just understand every flash, every company, everything's different.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to give a recommendation to maybe a beginner, I'd love to give them one in multiple budgets, you know?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely it's really important, and I think people get really set on gear and, like, they're always like,
Mhm.
"What kinda gear are you investing in?" But still, like, the important thing is learning how to use the gear, and that like, nothing is gonna they cameras don't take photos themselves and turn
Mhm.
like they don't look amazing because the camera's taking it. It looks amazing because you're setting the settings and you're composing the shot and you're being thoughtful about what you're shooting. So definitely nothing like beats like the fundamentals of everything. But yeah, obviously we all need to be able to afford the gear that we're buying too.
Definitely. I do wanna tell you before we move on from our setups and you dropping your pro photo from your spider holster, I wanna say I think you were literally one of the people that probably convinced me to finally full send on the spider holster because I saw your reels of
Really?
you, like, climbing
Yeah.
around with this thing, and I'm like, "Man, this looks great. I need to
Yeah.
do this. I need to just full send on trying this thing out," but it was
Yeah.
such
Have you gotten it yet? Or you've been using
Yes,
it,
yeah,
right?
we've used it for the
Nice.
past 3 or 4 weddings, and I
Nice.
love it. I think for me, the
Yeah.
thing I like about it is I actually feel more creatively empowered.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
don't know if that makes sense, but something about them being secure on my hip and me, as long as I lock them, because one time I did it and the camera took flight,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
as long as I lock them, I can literally run around and demonstrate a pose,
Yes.
and with harnesses, things are flying everywhere. You have to worry about hitting the couple with the
Yep.
camera, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I just there's something about the weight literally being off of my shoulders. I
Yeah.
feel almost more inspired to take photos. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, I 100% resonate with that. Like, for me, it's like I need to feel free, and I'm a very visual person, so I, like, need to show my couples if there's a
Yeah.
specific pose or something that I wanna do, I'm like, "I need to show you how to do this because 'cause I'm not gonna be able to explain it. Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
be confused." So,
Yeah, my whole
um
upper body just feels more free to, like,
Oh,
demonstrate
yeah.
poses and
Yeah.
stuff.
I know,
Yeah.
and then, like, to be able to, like, also with, our back and neck problems, it's like to not have that weight on our, like, upper back, and now it's more, like, central is super helpful.
Yeah. So nice. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to
Shout out to
photos.
Spider.
Spout out to Spider Holster. I'll drop a coupon code in the show notes, even though this
Yeah.
was not what that was about.
Yeah.
It's changed my life. That's how I feel.
I know, I feel the
Man,
same way. Yeah,
have
they're
you been using
awesome.
No, I need to stop, move on. I was about to ask you more questions about it because I just love
Oh,
chatting about it.
I'll
But
talk gear all day.
man, so lenses, I am curious. You said use the 24 to 70. Do you use anything else or do you mostly use the 24 to 70 on most of your wedding work?
So during a wedding day, I always have two digital cameras set up. One I keep my flash on, and that's the one that I use, like the 24 to 70. And then I
Mm.
have another one that is a 35 to 150, and that's
Oh,
usually
wow.
like my ambient camera. Um, and yeah, that lens is a workhorse. I love like how like especially for ceremonies, it's great because it can zoom in really far, and I cannot have to be like up in everybody's business. And also like it goes down to 2.0, which is great too.
That's wild. I need to know about this lens. I'm a
I
Canon
know.
girl, but that's actually it's a good wide range right there.
I
35 all the way to
know.
150. Everyone listening
Yeah.
is probably like, "Summer, Canon has one too, you just don't know it." That's
Yeah.
fine. They probably do. They probably do.
Probably.
Who knows?
I
That's
know.
a great
Yeah.
lens.
It really is. Yeah, I randomly found it. I was not like looking for it because I was really considering getting, like an 85 to 200
Mhm.
or something, but those are huge and hefty. And this one's hefty, but it's not that much heavier than my 24, which is nice.
That one I wanna rent. I'm gonna rent something like that for everyone listening. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it.
you
I'm gonna
should.
rent it for my second shooter because that would be
Yeah.
a perfect second shooter lens, like,
Uh-huh.
catch all, can get portraits, can get close-ups.
Yep.
That'd be a great,
Yeah.
great lens.
Highly
I only have
recommend.
one digital camera, or I would try it, but
Yeah.
I only shoot with one digital because the rest are film. If I
Yep.
had 2
Okay.
digitals, I would die because I
Yeah.
have, like, 4 film cameras on my body on wedding days.
Yeah. I know. I always, like, see you and you're, like, swimming in cameras.
RIP.
Yeah.
Man, so when you asked me, I wanna ask you basically the same thing. When you asked me about, like, the adjustment to going off camera and
Mhm.
if I felt like there was anything maybe off or different, I do have things I like about it, but I didn't feel like I had things that maybe I didn't like about it. I don't know if that makes
Mhm.
any sense for all of you listening, but I wanna ask you that same question because I'm sure you asked me it because maybe you experienced a difference with from on camera to off camera, or you know people who maybe are asking you questions that are experiencing those differences. I am curious what your thoughts are on that. Did you experience any difference going? I mean, you started with studio lighting, but what would you say if you didn't experience any differences that like would be the main difference in your mind as to why you prefer it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the main difference for me and probably most people is just like the ability to control the light. And
Mm,
so like, when you have it on camera, it's a flat light. It's flat on your subject. Not to say that it's couldn't be like cool or interesting. I still use on camera or a hot shoe camera flash from time to time, but even like the second that you put a trigger on and lift the flash up just a little bit, the whole like dynamic of the image changes and like your subject starts to look a little bit more dimensional and more interesting, and then you can kind of just get creative and move your flash around and kind of see what different like types of effects you can create. So
mhm,
definitely like the thing that I think initially stood out and still does is like just being able to totally transform an image by where the light is coming from.
mm. Yeah, my favorite, maybe you have a favorite. My favorite is like up and pointed down a little bit.
Yep.
Everyone
Yep.
has different favorites. Some people like it to the
Yeah.
side, some people wanna, like, put their flash behind someone. I don't
Yep.
know. I love
Yeah.
mine just, like, up and to the side. It feels so much more flattering than directly on them on my camera.
Totally. Yep. Yeah. No, mine is definitely like the butterfly. So like a little above my head and like pointed down, like just to
Mhm.
like give that kind of like um yeah, like the butterfly shadows. So like the
Mm.
shadows are like really symmetrical. And then like I love to put it off to the side. Obviously like you have to be conscious of like shadows and stuff. Sometimes you don't want like the ghost shadows behind them. But yeah, like there's just so much that you can do with a single light. Like even like just putting it like to the side of someone, you could create like a really moody and dramatic portrait,
Mm.
and then you don't change any settings, but you move it above their heads, and then that's a really different looking but um, flatteringly lit portrait. So there's just like so much that you can do. It's
Oh my
very cool.
gosh, I this literally made me think of this shoot that I've been wanting to do that I will literally just tell everyone you can steal this idea.
Yes.
I've been wanting to do I have no idea the technical, and you're gonna know it, which is why I'm telling you this on the podcast. I don't know the technical word for this, but basically, when you shoot, I mean, it could literally just be called multi-flash, but you shoot multiple, like you flash your flash multiple times within the amount of time that your shutter is open, and it's gonna basically do almost like a multiple exposure, but you're not exposing multiple times. You're just flashing and freezing light multiple times in one image. Does that make sense? Are we clocking?
um, and we're not talking about high speed sync. It's something else, right?
So basically, I've been wanting to do a shoot, but it would not necessarily make sense with weddings. But so, say you opened up your shutter, but when you do the flash, it's going to freeze the subject.
Yeah.
So you just are going to shoot your flash multiple times within the time that the shutter's open,
Oh.
and it's going to repeat that subject multiple times in the same frame.
Whoa, cool. I've
So,
actually like never even
I
heard of
really wanna do
that. I
it
need to
with,
see
like,
a
a
photo.
studio shoot and just do some really cool, weird, creative thing, and I think I'm gonna release, like, a tutorial for summer school
Yeah,
students,
that sounds
inside the
sick.
membership and stuff, and I was like, "I bet Laura's maybe done this or something." Um,
No,
but I wanna do
that
it because it's like a multiple exposure, but you're not technically opening your shutter up more than once.
Yeah. How interesting.
Doesn't that sound
Yeah. I
fun?
mean, yeah, it sounds super fun. And that's like really what I love about like flash and just artificial light is you can do such cool things and you don't need like a lot of tools. You just need to know how
Yeah.
to use it.
Yeah, I need to do it. I think I need to figure out how it physically, technically works. Like, I think it's going to work best if I have a subject with a minimal black background. Like, you could do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can technically, the mechanics of it, do it however you want. But
Y-
I think white backdrop and something maybe fashiony or
Yeah.
serious. Probably not a
Yeah.
couple. It would be
Yeah.
cheesy, I think, if I did it with a couple for my
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
For
what
sure.
is she doing? I mean, who
I know.
knows?
I need to like figure out what this is called and find some photos of it so I can actually like figure out how to also do it.
I'm sure there's a real name. I just don't know the name. I
Yeah.
just know that how it works. Like,
Yeah.
if your
Someone in
shutter
the
is
comments will
open
tell
and
us.
you flash, it's gonna freeze the subject. So just flash multiple times during the duration of the shutter being open, and bam, you have the
Yeah.
subject multiple times within the image.
It is interesting because most flashes are control or like most flashes are controlled by the shutter pressing down.
But you could flash them anyways. Like on my profile, I can like click, click, click.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, so you could like manually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna try
We
it.
shall see. When
Yeah.
I need to set this up because it's been in a mood board for like a year, and I have this friend
Oh,
that's a model that lives down the road, literally down the road, and I haven't seen her in 2 months, but we keep
oh no.
just classic not responding to each other, or
Hmm.
one person will say they're free, the next person won't respond until the day after they're free.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I
Welcome
keep inviting
to.
her over mostly for dinner, but I'm like, I'm totally gonna sneak in this shoot like in the time frame, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, welcome to life as a wedding photographer in the summer where
Mm-hmm.
you don't have time to respond to anyone.
Literally. And now a parent. Ay, ay, ay.
Yes, I know. Congratulations. Are
Yes.
you having fun with parenting life?
Yes, I mean, it's crazy. I feel as though life just moves on. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about parenthood. Like, it's like, oh, I was not a parent and now I'm a parent doing
But
basically
you
the
still
same
do
things,
all the same
but with
things.
a child. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Just less
honestly
free
nutty.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. Wild,
Yeah.
wild.
That's
Yeah.
awesome though.
It's definitely the logistics of it can be hard sometimes with a business, and
Yeah.
yeah, but we don't need to dive into that. I'm like, the logistics are hard sometimes just to figure
Yeah.
out, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Podcasting, I can't hold a baby and podcast, you know?
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah,
there's
girl,
things that are
yeah,
crazy.
you literally do it all. I'm like, how many hours does she have in a day? 'Cause
Man, and I have a
I'm just
friend
like
who I
in
swear
awe.
he does more than me, and I'm like, how are you alive?
Yeah, it's crazy, but
Um,
keep
yeah.
kicking.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually taking a step back from weddings this fall, which if
Oh,
people listen to the podcast,
nice.
they probably know a little bit. Taking a slight step back this fall to focus on summer school and the membership community because I launched it and I just wanted to be able to spend more time in it.
Mhm.
And it'll give me a little more time to be home with Georgia and
Yeah.
teach. I'm teaching at like 5 different things this fall. So I'm like, basically, it's like I'm doing a lot of weddings, but
Yeah.
not. It's like I'm going and just teaching a lot of weddings. I don't know,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. No, it's so fun. Like, when I started making flash tutorials, never really thought I would see myself in the education space.
Mhm.
But I've been fortunate because I've had so many like wonderful mentors and people who've just honestly for free have invested like their
Mhm.
time just because they're passionate about it and they want to share their
Yeah.
knowledge. And like I've really been lucky enough to do that. And now I'm kind of at a point where like, I am never going to like claim to be an expert about anything because I'm always still learning. I think like most
Mm.
like every artist, like there's always more stuff to learn. But to be able to like share my knowledge and like to help other people because photography is such a lonely industry. Like we all work by ourselves for the most
Mhm.
part. And like to bounce ideas and like to listen and to learn from people and to be able to share like what I've learned has been really fun.
Yeah. I love it. I'm so excited for you. And I
Thanks.
can't believe we didn't
Yeah.
know each other when I lived in the PNW. What a
I
bummer.
know. Yeah. And because you've been in LA now for a few years, right?
Mm, only about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years? Coming
Yeah.
up on 2, so less than 2 years. We got
Okay.
married October not last October, but the one before, and we drove from our wedding to LA and just we were like, "Hey, if we find somewhere to live, we'll move, and if not, we'll go back." And, like, we still had
Yeah.
our apartment in Tacoma, actually.
Oh,
I think everyone thought
nice.
I lived in Oregon, but I lived in
Yeah.
Washington.
Okay, interesting.
But
I
I did
definitely
live
thought
in
you lived in
Eugene.
Portland.
I
Oh,
started in
nice.
Eugene, yeah. Started in
Okay.
Eugene, shot a few weddings up in Hood River, made good connects with, like, the Griffin House and stuff, and I was just like, "Man, I like Oregon. I'm not gonna charge travel for Oregon because
Yeah.
that's where I started. That was where a lot of my business was," and so I just kinda marketed to all of the PNW, and
Mhm.
I enjoyed some of the outdoor, nicer weddings of Oregon maybe more than the scene that I saw in Washington. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't see, maybe I needed to be in Washington longer, I don't know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I felt like I resonated with a lot of the nicer Oregon venues maybe more. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel the same, like, the Griffin House honestly, any venue in Hood River is so beautiful, but the
I
Griffin
love Hood
House,
River.
oh, it's so beautiful. Every time I make that drive, which is, like, once a weekend, I'm like, "Wow, how lucky are we to live in this beautiful place?"
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
currently planning potentially a trip, so maybe we should meet up. Currently
I'd love
planning
that.
a trip, and if you're listening to this, guys, and somehow I haven't already shot this, feel free to hit me up if you want some photos. But currently planning a trip up to the PNW, and I don't know for when, probably mid September, late early October, because basically all my clients have started having children,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, man, I'm not a family photographer, but also I would love to see all my clients again. Literally love them,
Totally.
and I have a kid now, so I am doing some past clients' families and stuff now.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna do like a weekend of family photos in a studio. I guess you'd call
That's
that a mini
awesome.
session? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've literally never done mini sessions,
I haven't either, but, like,
and
I feel like it's yeah, you're gonna kill it.
it's just destiny. I don't know. In my opinion, I was like, "Man, trip up to the PNW, see some of my friends, and
Yeah.
see all my old clients, just line them all up on one weekend." It sounds kinda like a
Totally.
blast.
Yeah, no, that sounds super fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, like, because I love to keep in touch with my past clients, but, like, usually when people, um, reach out to you again for photos, it's for family photos, so I've, like, had the idea of trying to, like, dabble into family photos because, like, I wanna continue to, have those relationships, and
Yeah.
there's, like, so many cool things that you can do with family photos if they're down
If
to
you're in the right niche.
do it. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can be
Yeah, I
really
think family
creative and
photos are
fun.
slept on, and I think I
Yeah,
would have slept on them too, but
totally.
there's a side of family photography that I think is really interesting and really cool,
Mhm.
and you heard it here first, folks. I might be getting into it. Yeah, and I have no
Yoo-woo.
idea. Who knows? But I do have a family photo shoot booked for October.
Oh,
I
so
literally have one in, like, a
exciting.
day too, but that one's more of just past clients, like,
Yeah.
their kids turning 1, so, just normal photos, but in
Yeah.
October, we're doing, yeah, that kind of editorial, kinda lifestyle family session, hose, film photos.
Mhm.
They reached out
So
because I
cool.
shot film and they said, "Well, we know that you can do this. Even though you mostly do weddings, you would kill this vibe," and they sent me the Pinterest board, and I was like, "I think this is the start of my family photo career because this is
That's
cool."
awesome.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah,
we'll
it's
see.
if there's a story to tell, like, you can make beautiful photos out of
Mhm.
anything, especially you, like, you're
I
just
just like taking
amazing.
cool photos, and I've
Yeah,
been so
exactly.
niche into mostly weddings or maybe fashiony things. But I think if I find the right clients for family stuff, I could really enjoy it.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
just important, like, as creatives, and I'm definitely learning this, as I continue to go in my career, but, like, you have to sometimes get out of your niche. Like, you have to
Mhm.
sometimes change it up because, like, that's how burnout happens, and, like, if you're seeing and consuming and doing the same thing every day, like, how are you gonna be creatively inspired? So, sometimes it's
Mhm.
good to, like, just, like, try something, even if you end up hating it, like, at
Yeah.
least you did something different.
Yeah, and I was, like, probably one of the most niche people I personally know because I genuinely, for the last 4 years, have only taken paid work for weddings or couple
Interesting.
sessions,
Okay. Wow.
except for maybe a few times I've done, for a bridal company, like fashion, for a bridal
Mhm.
company or
Yeah.
for a small like, local designer, things like that, like clothing.
Mhm.
So and that's been maybe I could count it on 2 hands of gigs I've done in that space or editorial type things like that with creative directors or something, and those are
Mhm.
normally for fun. Like, I don't really care if I barely get paid for those because they're creatively
Totally.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very niched girl. Literally
Yeah.
just dove straight in. I was like, "Only couples, this is all I'm doing." And then right now I'm kinda like, it could be kind of fun to give my clients the space to become repeat customers. I think as a
Totally. Yeah.
business, if I end
Mhm.
up enjoying it creatively as an artist, it's kind of a no-brainer because as wedding photographers, if not, you're only booking clients that will literally only book you once. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you could do a couple session with them, but once they have kids, they're gonna want a family session, and you basically have to
Yeah.
find new clients every single year. How cool if we could funnel them
Exactly.
into recurring clients, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely a really smart business decision to lean into that a little bit more. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, as you know, like especially like you are now a mom, so like you
That's
are
so true.
able to look at it
Yes.
through like a different lens. But
No, I feel
it's
that.
yeah, it's yeah.
I didn't even like kids before my own.
I like kids. I like other people's kids. So like,
Yeah,
my cat is my child forever.
I feel that.
At least
I
for
had
the next
someone
couple of
reach
years
out
because she's old.
recently for a, like, dog
Oh
editorial
yeah,
shoot. Like, their
that's so
dog was
funny.
passing, and so they wanted to do almost like an
Oh,
architectural digest, like, luxury shoot with their dog.
that's
Doesn't that
so
sound
amazing.
so cool?
Yeah, so cute. The My boyfriend and I, we've been together a long time, but we're not like picture taking people. Like we
Mhm.
are just not like I prefer obviously the other end of the camera. But the only photos that we've ever taken were on like 2 years ago for our anniversary. We went to the Lloyd Center, had this like pop up like funny like JC Penney style esque photos, and we
Fun.
went and did those, and they like photoshopped our cat's head like really big, like
I love
I'm like
that.
on his back, like it was such a joke. But it was like those are like the type of photos that I'm just like obsessed with and just fun and feel authentic to us. But then you get your wheels turning and you're like, what can I do that feels authentic to my clients?
Mhm.
That's a little different.
Do you Would you say that most of your clients, because you share a lot of Flash stuff, most of your clients really love Flash, or have you ever had a curve with them too, where maybe at first they're kind of intimidated of it? Because I do think it elevates a shoot to a level that is maybe a little scarier from the client side of it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. When I accidentally flash into my eyeballs, I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I do this to everyone."
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think it can be intimidating. I personally, as someone who's uncomfortable in front of the camera, would be intimidated by it. But I think it comes down to communication and just
Mhm.
explaining like, "Oh, we're gonna just like I just want to add a little creative flair to this, like, and just like, reassure them and continue telling them what to do and where to look and those sorts of things. There's a time and place for Flash for sure. I don't use it throughout an entire wedding day. That would
W
certainly
What would
be
you say is
insane, but
not the time and place to use Flash?
so I avoid using Flash during a ceremony, unless I absolutely have to. I don't trust it to like go off like exactly when I need. Like I want to make sure that I'm absolutely getting the shots. Also, like it can be distracting, so I want to like respect that. And I also like I do like to capture the ambiance of what's actually happening. And so honestly, for me, I've gotten to a point where like I use Flash obviously when I absolutely need it, but it's really mostly a creative tool. Like
Mm,
I might not even there might be more than enough light, but I just want to create a specific look. That's like when I'm going to use Flash.
mm. So, just ceremony, or is there other times you think Flash looks bad
Oh.
at toast? You like Flash at toast?
Oh, I kind of go back and forth, and I think it totally depends on like the vibe and the venue
Mhm.
also. I prefer again like to capture the ambiance of the day. So I really do avoid using Flash at toast. The only like times really during like the reception that I'm probably going to be using it is like during the like first dances.
Mhm.
I think I explained a little bit before, but I love to do like a two flash setup to get like a little light behind them. especially if like there's no like DJ who's like setting up fancy lights or anything, and you just want to elevate it a little bit, I might do that. But and then like for dance photos and things like that, maybe for like some fun like guest portraits or things like that. But for the most part, like, I'm kind of just trying to capture what's actually going on and then adding in like a little creative flair
Hmm.
with the
I
light.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any non-negotiables of times I will not use flash, but definitely ceremony. Definitely would think it'd be weird during like signing the marriage certificate.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
again, I literally had to do that because we were in like a dark dungeon the other day.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you just have
Um,
to. And,
yeah.
like, sometimes they turn out really cool. And sometimes you're like, "Wow, I wish I just had natural light." But
Normally I don't use it during getting ready much, but the last wedding I used it for girls' pics, like kind of
oh, yeah.
gown, kind of,
Mhm.
like getting ready girly pics. And they were having like a pillow fight on this vintage bed. And I was like, man, on flash,
Cute.
this would be really fun. Whereas on
Yeah.
with no flash, I think it would have just been, it could have been fun and moody, but it would have been almost too muddy, like too,
Yeah.
not enough light. Like you wouldn't have
Exactly.
understood the scene as much, if that makes
Totally.
sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of, like, the decision making that's going on in my head during a wedding day is like, "Okay, here's what the natural light looks like. Does it look better than what I could do with
Mm.
my flash or with artificial light?" And then, or, like, you take so many photos and you're like, maybe I need 1 or 2 more, but I want them to be a little bit different." Then you can incorporate it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's I think having just a knowledge of light in general is really what's going to help you, because
Mhm.
it's all essentially the same. It's just like how you control it.
Definitely. And not having knowledge of Flash, it's like you're so limited in
Mhm.
what you're going to be able to do through any of your shoots, weddings, whatever you do that you're listening to this. If you have no knowledge of it at all, you're literally just saying like you're up to the mercy of just this event you're going to, and you
Yeah.
have no control. Like yes, your camera can, you're literally capturing light, but why I feel like as photographers it's our jobs to be able to control that light.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I think it like I in the beginning I had this kind of expectation where if I was gonna shoot flash, I needed to do it, like, all day, like,
Mm.
during like, I needed to, like, if I wanted my photos to look like they were straight out of Vogue, like, I need to have, like, artificial light firing at all times. That's just, like, simply not the case,
Mm.
and it's also, like, just it's not super practical, especially when you only have one of you. Like, a lot of other photographers have assistants who, like, hold the
Mhm.
light and who set it up and or who are controlling that. But when you're a single person, um, and you can do it yourself, but you also don't want to like break your body, like you just kind of have to find that balance of like knowing when to use it and when you might not want to use it.
That's a really good point that you just raised of some people are going to have assistants, they're going to have big teams because even as far as sometimes lighting, when I was more in the beginning stages of my career, I would look at these beautiful, say, probably luxury weddings and I'd see dancing photos and the lighting would be so beautiful.
Mhm.
We're talking beams down with fog, just like
Oh, yeah.
stunning. And then I'd get some maybe mid luxury, like, high end, but not that high end.
Mhm.
And I would maybe have the expectation of, man, like this feels so close, but it's not quite there. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, man, am I supposed to bring in the lights? Like,
Yeah.
we're talking like real lights, and like
Oh, yeah.
constant lights. And I was like, gosh, no one, I don't feel like there's a ton of public knowledge on that. And finally I was enlightened one time where someone told me like, oh yeah, why don't you suggest to the planner that this venue's going to need a lighting team? And I was like, a lighting team? And I was like, "Wait, this is a thing
Those
that
exist?
people pay like 30 grand to just
Oh,
have
yeah.
people set up pro lighting?" I did not know that in the beginning of my career because how would you know that? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
uh man, I still don't get a ton of weddings with pro lighting teams, but it
That
just
sounds like
sounds
a
like a
dream,
dream.
honestly. It
Yeah,
sounds
I
awesome,
want it.
yeah.
Someone bring in 50 grand worth of lights to one
Yeah.
of my weddings. It'll be so fun.
Seriously.
I won't
Yeah.
use a ton of flash because it'll just look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do bring constant light sometimes because I do want that sometimes ambient look that I don't have to use flash on in a lot of my
Mhm.
weddings, even at, say, not a super cheap price point. A lot of them aren't having lighting teams. You know, maybe the only lighting being brought in would be me or a videographer. And if they're prioritizing me, maybe they don't have a videographer.
Totally.
So I definitely don't have $30,000 lighting teams. But I have
Yeah.
looked into, for one of my weddings, having a lighting team brought in and stuff. So I've done some of that research, but I didn't even know that was a thing. And yeah, so definitely bigger teams. Sometimes people have assistants setting up the lights. And I always just wondered, man, how am I supposed to do all of this? How am I
Yeah.
supposed to fly in lights and set them up and somehow shoot the wedding?
Yeah.
And yeah, people just have huge teams. You know, they're not
Yeah.
normally doing it all themselves. It's physically impossible. You would get bad photos because you would not be present if you tried to do it all yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have 100% had that thought. I have a light sitting next to me. It's a newer? I don't know
Mm,
how to pronounce that.
yeah.
It's a constant light, and I bought it because I kind of went down a rabbit hole of, like, just wanting my reception photos to be better, and I was like, "But these ones have, like, more constant light. I need to figure out a way to get more light in there." I
Hmm.
mean, I have only had it for a couple of months, but I've never used it, because it's not super practical, and I can do most of what I need to do with Flash. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of photographers kind of get into the comparison game, but at the same time, it's like when people have lighting teams versus what we can do ourselves, like we can only hold ourselves to such a high standard.
I'm not saying every high-end wedding, I mean, they probably do have lighting teams. I was about to say, I'm not saying every high-end wedding has one, but yeah, if
If
you
you
see
can
some
afford it,
crazy
you should
thing,
do it.
yeah, if you're a photographer listening and you see some crazy thing and you're like, "Man, how do I do that?" The photographer probably didn't do it, if we're being real.
Yeah. So true.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun, Laura. I would love if we end this on, if you had a piece of advice that you would have loved to have been told when you were starting, that you could tell someone right now, what would you want them to know? I know I just threw this on you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I would say don't 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 choose your niche too early. Like, I
Hmm.
think there's a lot of pressure to figure out what you wanna do, what type of photography you wanna specialize in, but that is likely going to change throughout your career. But I think when you're getting started, it's really giving yourself the space to explore and, like, try everything. Like, if it sounds remotely interesting,
Hmm.
just give it a shot. Like, you can never do it again if you absolutely hate it, but I think it's really important to try everything and make sure that, like, what you ultimately build your business around is something that you're really passionate about, and you're not gonna figure that out unless you're actually doing it.
Hmm. You're preaching to me right now.
Yeah.
I will say, I
You're figuring it out, though. You got
I
this.
did try boudoir photography once, and I
Oh,
always told
yeah.
myself I would never shoot. A lot of wedding photographers shoot it. I said I don't want to shoot this, and unless I understand how it feels.
Mhm.
So I made myself model for a
Oh
boudoir
my
shoot.
gosh.
Yeah, and I
That
hated
good
it,
for
and I
you.
said, "This is not for me."
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
That
not
would
me. I'm
be a
just
tough
not
one.
sexy. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think yeah. I mean, everyone has their different idea of sexy, but it's yeah, I mean, there's specific types of photography that people just aren't gonna you're not gonna care about,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, like, but it
Yeah.
is, like, good to try it. Yeah, recently I've been, like, shooting some sports photography and just, like,
Ooh.
trying to, like, just, like, do some, like, different stuff, and, like, you learn so much about
Mm-hmm.
things if you just, like, get out of your comfort zone.
I feel that. I went to a Nikon camp testing one of the cameras last year, and I was only well, there was another wedding photographer there, but she mostly does fashion, and then there's a portrait
Okay.
photographer there. Everyone else was mostly landscape photographers or like nature, test a camera, like test the
Yeah.
mountain bike, like flying through the air. And I'm over here like, what the frick do I do with any of this? And
That's so
I
funny.
learned so much, you know, they brought out, like, scrims and reflectors, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
shoot, I
so
bought a
cool.
reflector." I'm like, "I'm gonna bring this to a wedding."
Oh,
Because
yeah.
my style is just more, you know, natural light, flash,
Totally.
obviously, but I'm not, like, bringing out reflectors at, like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
weddings.
Yeah.
But low key, I was like, "Oh, this is kinda cool." Do I love shooting, like, midday with, like, sports? No, but, um, I did learn a lot about production and
Yeah.
how to control light in that way and stuff, and try different
Yeah.
lenses, and it really pushed me outside of my comfort zones, let me tell you,
Oh, yeah.
and it was good for me. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm about to say I'm like, it was good for me to do. Everyone should do it. Go shoot midday with a reflector. I don't know, buy some weird thing. I have a bin of random gear
Oh, yeah.
that
Same.
I just don't use, and I've been wanting to during this kind of not off season because 'cause I'm still really freaking busy. I think I have 5 workshops coming up, but
Oh,
with the
yeah.
season of not quite shooting, you know, traveling for a wedding, I still feel
Mhm.
like I have a little bit more free time even though I'll be traveling for conferences and stuff.
Yep.
I wanna bring out some things out of the bin and
Yeah.
try out some so, yeah, whether it's a niche, whether it's trying out something new, if you guys have a bin like me or a shelf with random cameras you never touch, this is your sign that you should go break them out and get weird again.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, midway through wedding season right now, like, I'm, like, really digging deep. I'm like, "What else can I do to incorporate
Mm.
something different to, like, make this, like" 'cause I'm always I'm not trying to shoot the same wedding over and over again. Like, I'm
Mhm.
always thinking, like, "What else can I do? What can I bring? What other things can I, like, implement to, like, make this more, like, creatively inspiring and, like,
Yeah.
just, pop off the page a little bit more?" So, yeah, just keep pushing yourself. Don't get
I
stuck
love that.
in a rut.
This has been so, so, so good. We're gonna dive into even more of the nitty-gritty of her and how she shoots flash and her favorite settings and her favorite flashes and maybe a flash for beginners. We're gonna dive into all of that in Recess, which is the exclusive podcast for summer school members. So if you're not a member in there, go ahead and click the show notes, join our community. Such a fun community of awesome creatives. If you want to know more about it, I just posted a What is Summer School and it is pinned to the Instagram. There's a whole website describing it. So, anyways, go look at all of that, folks. Laura, I would love for us to end this out on you telling everyone where they can find you if you have anything fun releasing soon. I feel as though you have like a flash guide or something like that in the works or already released. Go ahead and tell everyone everything that you would want them to know.
Yeah, so you can find me at Laura Shepherd Images on Instagram and TikTok. I do have a flash guide. It's an off-camera flash guide specifically. It is available for my website. I will be running a sale soon. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be probably sometime at the end of this month. But there will be a sale soon. And yeah, my flash guide is awesome. I spent so much time just really trying to make it easy to digest and understand. And yeah, so if you have questions or want to learn off camera flash, it's a good resource.
Yay! This has been so fun. Guys, if you love this
Yay.
episode, you want your friends to hear more about Flash and inspire them to go shoot more Flash, send this to a friend, leave a rating or review, put this on your stories, come join us in summer school. And this has been so much fun. I will catch all of you soon in recess, but I will catch everyone else next week. Bye, guys.